All right, guys, Chris and I are about to tell you a good another 20 or so stories here. We're breaking down issues 31 through 50 in Tales of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. With us, as always, is our good friend TMNT Dare Talk Christian. So, Christian, before we get started, I wanted to ask you, these comics, just like anything else in the Ninja Turtle verse, they're always givers. There's a lot of books we're going to cover today, these issues. And if you keep reading, there's little mini stories and also pinups. So were you a fan of those mini stories and the little pinups you got in these comics?
Oh, of course, because it's sometimes funny because of especially with the pinups. It's you get some artists that you don't usually see with the TMNT, and they do some funny little drawings. So yeah, I'm all for that. And also with the little backup stories, I also thought that they were pretty cool. Like some of the stories, they're pretty short, yeah, just a few pages, but they get into the head of the turtles. Like there's one story like with Raphael, and you see like his inner monologue and some stuff that you usually don't see when there's a regular story with the action. There's no time for that, so it's nice to get into the head of the characters sometimes. And these shorter stories, they really work for that, I guess.
No, I agree. So, guys, if you're ready to hear some stories, we've got cameos, we've got returns, we've got proposals. We've got a lot to take into this episode, man. I'm real excited. And, of course, we're starting off with Baskin Robbins 31 flavors, none other than our good friend Casey Jones. Take it away, Christian, for Tale 31.
Yeah, let's jump in right into the action with the story called Reflections, which, as you said, is a Casey Jones story. And in this story, Casey, April, and Shadow, his daughter, they go to this alien guy who has a show, and he's like this guy who can transform into every character. And unfortunately, something goes wrong, and he turns into Dark Casey, which is like this mindset of Casey, like the evil version of him, like the crazy version of him that's going crazy. Like when we first met him, he was really madman, just beating up bad guys. And there were some instances where Casey was thinking like, oh, if this personality of him comes back, it could hurt people that he loves. And so now this alien guy transforms into this Dark Casey version, this giant big dark Casey version, and it starts attacking everyone. So there's a big fight, but it's like the Hulk version. It's super strong. And Casey gets really hurt, but as soon as this evil doppelganger starts attacking Shadow and April, he's like, no, that's not the way. He goes right in, starts pummeling the guy, and is able to defeat like his own darker self. And well, he saves the alien guy. He transforms back into his normal self. And so this is like Casey really left this version of himself behind. It's like this story. He's finally able to leave the dark version of himself behind and be really a good guy for his family. So pretty cool story, I gotta say. Pretty really interesting to get a little bit into Casey's head there. Pretty cool, gotta say.
Yeah, and like you say, I'll use your words here. That is not the last of Casey Jones in this episode today. We've got a lot of Casey here. And
oh, yeah.
And some crazy ones, too. And we'll be right with them very soon. But first off, issue number 32, we get some more cowboys returning here. I love the Yosemite Sam, like, what in tarnation, what in the Sam hell's going on here? It just gets you more in the cowboy spirit with this one, right? In Tales 32?
Exactly. I mean, just look at the title. It's called The Eye of Agamotto. This is just great. And yeah, so this is the second crossover between the Turtles and the Cowboys of Moo Mesa, where, and it's also the return of none other than Savante Romero, who comes back and he wants to use the power of the Eye of Agamotto, which is this all-seeing, all-powerful eye. And well, first the Cowboys want to stop him, not able to do it. So the Turtles, they come in, they fight him, and it's also first, Savante Romero with his magic powers is able to control the cowboys. They fight the turtles. Then he controls the turtles. They fight the cowboys. So the usual crossover stuff. The two good guys have to fight each other. But the funny thing is that in the end, Savante Romero gets overwhelmed by the power of the eye, and he pretty much loses his mind. He's put to sleep. He's caught in the eye, and pretty much the last we see of him. So if you really think about the story, so in the end, Savante Romero is defeated. But if you think about it, if the Turtles and the Cowboys did nothing, the same would have happened because he was just overwhelmed by this power. So the Turtles and the Cowboys, they did not have to fight him, and it would have been to the same end. So, but still, we want to see the Turtles and the Cowboys together. So totally fine. Pretty cool second crossover between these two characters. And Return of Savante. Yeah.
I was not. Were you expecting a second one? I was shocked we had a first one, let alone a second one. And it was a quick turnaround, too. Christian, it wasn't that long that we just broke down the first crossover in these comics. Were you surprised that they did a second one that soon?
Yeah, absolutely. And little teaser there, it's not the last one. So look forward to that. And it's cool. I mean, it's mostly it's because Ryan Brown, who works on the Turtles, was the one who created the Cowboys of Mumesa. So he pretty much said, hey, can I bring my own characters in? So this is how all this happened. And so, yeah, it's no surprise, and it's cool. It was about time, I gotta say, like these two characters to meet up. So yeah, and it's fun. Just give me more of this. It's totally fun.
Yeah, it's just a nice playback, great chemistry between the two franchises. Again, I love the Western talk. It just brings you more into the moment and helps you escape reality and sucks you right into those issues. So, like you said, very well done. Now, here's one I did not see coming. Casey Jones and Raph, yeah. Casey Jones and Donnie in the 1990s movie and some talking, yeah. But Casey Jones and Splinter coming up? I can't wait to hear you break down this one.
Oh, yeah. Tales of the TMT number 33, called Debate. As I said, it's really an unusual pairing. If you know Casey, crazy vigilante, and there's Splinter, the calm sensei. It should not work, but somehow it does. Because in this story, Casey's daughter Shadow, when she still was a baby, gets kidnapped by some foot ninjas, and the turtles are not available. So Casey goes to Splinter like, help me, and Splinter's like, of course I help you. And so they hunt down the foot ninjas. They are able to get to Shadow, and it turns out that it was all a trap by none other than Shark Shredder. If you remember, the shark mutant shredder creature that was defeated in issue number 4. So now in issue number 33, it's back and it wants revenge. So there's once again a big fight, but without the turtles. So it's just Casey and Splinter teaming up, fighting the Shark Shredder. And well, in the end, are able to defeat him, save Shadow. So yeah, that's probably the end of that story. And yeah, just unusual. It's really an unusual comic because, as you said, it's the team up of Casey and Splinter, something that we don't see very often. These two characters don't interact that often because they're just so different from each other. But this makes it even the more fun, I gotta say. Pretty cool, pretty nice story.
And I just always think, just reading this issue, I always think of the 2003 Splinter, Mr. Jones, because he keeps calling him Mr. Jones throughout the entire issue.
Yeah.
So I love it. This one is another wild one with a new Hamato coming into play. These just keep getting better and better, these tales, let me tell you.
Yeah, once again, Tales of the TMT number 34, called Splinter Cell, which once again brings back an old character that we've talked about previously, who is this mysterious female ninja. If you remember, the one who cut off the turtles' bandanas. We did not know who is she, what does she want. But in this story, we finally find out that she was after the turtles because some well, as it turns out, wannabe foot ninjas. They told her so that she can become a full member of this Foot Clan. And well, once again, throw Splinter into the mix because Splinter is also there because it seems like that this young ninja who is called Hana, if I remember correctly, um, says that she is the daughter of his master Hamato Yoshi. And this intrigues Splinter because he did not know that Hamato Yoshi had a daughter. So yeah, so Splinter is there. He's training a little bit with her and the other ninjas, which is pretty wild. But in the end, it turns out that first off, the foot ninjas betray Hana because they are not really foot. So, well, she kills them. And second thing is that she also lied about it, that she is not Hamato Yoshi's daughter, but Hamato Yoshi's niece. And well, then she leaves Splinter and she's like, wait, where are you going? And she's like, I don't know, just going to survive, like I did my whole life. And that's the last thing we see of her. So, as I said, once again, and Hamato that we did not know about, not Hamato Yoshi's daughter, but Hamato Yoshi's niece. So, yeah, some new family there who may or may not reappear later.
Yes, hint, hint, wink, wink, for sure. 35, another one of our favorites. Just this story is just really, really far out there, and I gotta say, this is one I hope one day gets into the cartoon or even like a movie type media. If they just make just imagine, just call the movie Rat King. You know, like how we had the show Gotham, just call this Rat King and just have like a story based on the Rat King. I would watch, especially with a new King of the Rats.
Yes. Tales of the TMT number 35 called The Pantheon. That name might ring some bells. And yeah, I remember when this way back in 2007 was announced, I was really like, because I was so interested because I think I said it before that the Red King is one of my favorite and most interesting bad guy characters in the TMNT multiverse. And yeah, we remember the Red King was always this mysterious character. We did not know where he comes from. Who is she? Who is he? What is he? And this was told that this will finally tell the backstory, the origin of the Red King. I was like, oh, that's gonna be interesting. And as you said, it's a wild one where we find out that, well, the Red King was a normal man who was confronted by the previous Red King because there apparently is like this pantheon out there who each member of the pantheon is like the guardian of an animal family. So there's a red king, there's a cat queen, there's a bat king, and so on and so forth. And yeah, the former red king has grown old, and even though they're some kind of like demigods, but they also can grow old. And he's like, I forgot to pronounce a new announce a new red king. So he like just goes to this yeah, petty crook. He's like, yeah, you are now the red king, you're totally cool. And this guy is like, whoa, I have this power now over the rats. And he goes pretty crazy with his powers and even confronts Splinter. So they, once again, there's like this battle of minds between these two characters, Splinter and the Red King. And in the end, he's pretty much defeated, and he goes pretty much crazy, which then brings us to the start of the Red King story. As you remember, in the first volume of Tales, number 6, when we first met the Red King, he was like this crazy person just lurking around this old factory building. So that's where he landed. It all comes full circle. And the very interesting thing I gotta say is that Splinter gets asked to be the next Red King, and he says, "No, don't think that I'm fit for this." And he even gets told, "Okay, that's fine, but we will ask you again at the time of your death." So maybe then he will like transcend to the next stage to become the Red King. We don't know it. But yeah, so we finally know where the Red King comes from. It's crazy. And there's a pantheon, something that was a big thing in the IDW comics. Has like here it's this origin story of the pantheon, the first time that we met this, and it's crazy. As you said, it's a pretty crazy out there story. Wild.
They just have so much fun with these. Before we get into issue 36, I wanted to ask you, because you're very knowledgeable with most of these turtles that we've talked about. You kind of almost know it like the back of your hand. What I appreciate for a fan like me was more of a, not, I'm a diehard turtle fan, but just like not too knowledgeable with the turtles. Now, when you first read these books and it would say refer to TMNT Tale 12, would you go back to read that to refresh your memory, or did you appreciate that when they did that in these books? They do that a lot for us. I guess not, like new readers in a lot of these tales here.
I always think it's great, like when they have these callbacks and say, yeah, how it was mentioned in this and this book. I always think that's really great. So, like, because some of these books, they're like a few years after that they mention here. So you're like, okay, what happened like 5 years ago? Can remember. So you pull out the book and just check it out again. Say, yeah, right. Or so to refresh your memory. It really helps. I'm really glad that they do this. And yeah, sometimes I also have to do this because I can mention it like with these stories. It's been a few years that I've read them again. So in preparation, I was checking out them again. It's like, okay, I remember. I don't remember every detail, so like I have to check out. Okay, yeah, that's what that story was about, and yeah, I think I still do it nowadays with the IDW comics. They like refer to earlier stories, and it really helps because, as I said, that's some years ago. Like, okay, I don't remember what happened 5 years ago in this comic, so it's good to check them out again to have this little bit of information to know where to look. It's good so.
And you talked me into it too. Now as we're breaking down more of these, I'm actually, I have nothing wrong against color, but I have been more, like you said, it's not too hard to tell a turtle when you see the weapons, but it can be a little challenging. But I have been fun reading these in the black and white as we continue. So now number 36, we have a detective in that kind of reminds me of Commissioner Gordon in the Batman series here.
Oh, absolutely. To serve and protect, as the story is called. And yeah, as you just were mentioned, it is like in black and white. This story, this art here is very, very dark, very much a lot of gray and so on and so forth. So it's really interesting to check out this art in black and white. I think it would work in color, but it's got like this special feeling with black and white. I don't know if it's just me. So yeah, this story actually takes place after City at War, after the City at War story. And I love this kind of story because the turtles are not the main focus of the story. It's mostly about this detective who gets caught in between this, like this fight, this war of the ninjas, because the turtles are on one side, the Foot Clan on the other side. And I always love to like just normal people get thrown into this wild world. It's okay. We have the turtles. They have their adventures. For them, it's pretty normal, gotta say. But just imagine like a normal person, like just walking down the street and suddenly ninjas appear. What would be your what would you think of this? Like, okay, what happened? What's happening here? And this is exactly like this story because this detective gets caught like in this fight between foot ninjas and the turtles. They save him, and they have like a deal in the end. Like, okay, we helped you. We are the good guys, even though we're big talking turtles. But we help you, and he's like, okay, let's shake hands. I understand you. So pretty much everything's fine. But the whole story is like about this guy who tries to figure out what's going on with all these ninjas, all this killing of ninjas that you heard about that, well, happened in the City at War. And it's this crazy town. What's going on? And then, well, the turtles appear. Crazy stuff. So, but it's very interesting. The art is really cool. It's really gritty, and yeah, it even gets very bloody. I gotta say here and there, it's like some characters lose some heads. But yeah, I'm just a big fan of like these stories from time to time where just normal people, normal human beings get thrown into this crazy world of ninjas and mutants. And well, I totally love this. I totally enjoyed this story.
It just shows you the great minds behind these books. It's almost like a who's who, like a dream team just for us Turtle fans. When you just see those names, Berger, Levine, Talbot, Laird coming in once in a while, among others. It's just pretty much a who's who in the TMNT verse. And they all just had fun, too. You can tell nobody was doing like tug of war, like, hey, my tale's the best. Everybody just had fun. It'd be like if me, you, Michelle Ivy, and Justin Cooper, like all of us just made up our own stories that we all just loved and supported everybody's story. And that's pretty much what they do here, because next is something. First, you got to tell me just before you break this one down. I had so much fun when I read what was going to happen in issue 37 with the backstory of Casey Jones, something that none of us have ever gotten ever up to this time. We're officially, I say in quotation marks, going to get our backstory. What was going through your mind when you had to be super excited for the first time experiencing this?
Yeah, absolutely. Because it was told that this was finally the story, the origin story of Casey. Where does he come from? Because the first time we met Casey, he was already a vigilante. But what happened that he became a vigilante? We never figured it out. And it's like, okay, now we're going to find out about it. And well, because in the story, which is called Casey in Point, Casey is talking to a guy at the bar and he's like, hey, who are you? And Casey starts telling his origin story, how he grew up and he had a younger brother. And yeah, his younger brother was like this hockey player, and Casey never checked out his games. He wasn't into it. And unfortunately, the kid, his younger brother Davy, got beaten up by some bad guys, and he actually died then. And even his family, his father and his mother, like blamed Casey for this because he did not look out for him. And so Casey like took the hockey mask from his brother and became the Casey Jones that we know, and he beat up the bad guys who killed his brother. And then he was like, but I will never let anything like this happen again. And he became the vigilante that we know. And like, wow, what a great story. And then Casey leaves the bar and the bartender is having a good laugh because like, you know what, boy? All of that was PS. Nothing of that ever happened. Casey was just pulling your leg. It was just a story. He never had a brother. He was an only child. And yeah, this leaves us at the end, leaves us with the question, Casey Jones, who are you really? Maybe we'll find out, but yeah, this was not the story. This was just a fan fiction of Casey, told by Casey himself. And it's just totally Casey. It just works for Casey, you know.
Yeah, it was. I had so much fun just reading. It's like, oh man, this is so cool. What they had me. I don't now. Be honest here. It's okay. Like, did they have? They had me going. I thought this was his real backstory until he said he did. You think it was?
Yeah.
You did too. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. At first, yeah, just the end was like this twist that I did not see coming.
Yeah, like, oh, gotcha. But, oh, okay. Well, because again, we think, Splinter, the Turtles are very noble, honorable, but again, like you say, this is Casey Jones. It's allowed. We should have known better. Shame on us. Pretty much.
No.
Oh, man. 38's another cool one. I know you love the kid TMNT when you see him, and I enjoyed this one a lot.
Oh, yeah. It's called Triptych. And in this story, as you said, this is a kid's turtle story when they were still young. And it's very interesting because the turtles, they're hanging out in the sewers and they run into first they run into some weird aliens, and then they even run into a mutant alligator. And well, in the end, the alligator and this weird evil aliens, they fight, and well, the alligator, who of course is Leatherhead, defeats the aliens and goes back to his Utrum family. So the turtles actually met Leatherhead when they were still kids, but they don't remember it. So yeah, nice little throwback there to Leatherhead's origin story. And yeah, it's always nice to have like this little turtle backstories, like this flashback stories. I'm always there for it, to see some of these stories. Yeah.
No, same here. Not much more to talk about there, but I love those little kids. And that's what I thought. Well, soon, guys, we'll be talking about Rise of the TMNT, which is kind of getting there. I've gotten there a little bit. We'll talk more about that hopefully later this month in October of 2025 here on Shellonomics on YouTube and Spotify. But I can never get enough of those kitties. I love the little plushies and all that good stuff. And again, these guys just do a fabulous job writing them. But now, once again, we're into Christian's wheelhouse right here with some more horror stories, almost like a wolf turtle and Uncle Leo. Some random stuff in this one here.
Yeah, Tales of the TMT number 39, which is called What Wolves Wear, is, our Halloween story for today. Well, it actually came out in October of 2007. And in that story, it's Halloween, and Raph is really grumpy, and Mikey wants to go trick-or-treating, and Raph's like, no, I don't want to. But because of some magic mumbo-jumbo, Raphael actually lands in like this kind of apocalyptic future where werewolves exist, and he even runs into the King of Thieves, if you remember him from way back in Tales of the TMT number 3, who is controlling the werewolves, and he wants to use magic to like rule the world, to like bring the past and this future together to rule it. And well, Raph has to fight him, and he fights the werewolves. And it also, like, once again, a little twist is there. He fights a werewolf, and that werewolf turns out to be a transformed Michelangelo. So yeah, that happened to Mikey. Wow, that's evil. And well, in the end, Raph is able to defeat the King of Thieves. So his magic, his plan does not work. Raph gets zapped back to his present time, and like he never left. And Mikey runs up to him, and Raph is just happy. Oh, Mikey, I'm sorry. They have a little hug, little brotherly laugh there, because he saw what could happen in the future. But he's like, hey, I'm happy to have you now. So yeah, just enjoy Halloween. And he's not grumpy anymore, because it could be so much worse. Nice little story. And yeah, werewolf turtle. That's something new.
Yeah, but hey, there's that Leonardo toy, right? In Universal Monsters, didn't we have Wolfman Leo?
Oh,
I think it's
yeah,
kids, right?
exactly.
So it was kind of funny they had Mikey instead of Leo for that, if they wanted to go the toy up. But I love this one too. And at the end, yeah, Raphael tells Mikey, don't change. Because that's how it usually is in real life too. You know, you got those, you know, kind of like me, like happy, young for life, youthful, you know, young at heart people. And some people get tired of our energy because we're always so happy. And that's just who we are. And then when somebody's grumpy, they try to pull you down to their level. But at the end of the day, it's like, hey, had a bad day. You stay the same. This one's on me. So I love that little heartfelt story between the brothers. This one here, once again, this is my subtitle tale, because sometimes your boy Mikey gets a little confused. So it looks like there's like tons of, lots of no dialogue here. And I had explained TMNT Talk. So please break this one down for us. Really cool action scenes, but just I got a little lost.
Yeah, from one Raph-centric story to another Raph-centric story. It's Tales of the TMT number 40, called Silent Night, which is very much like a Christmassy story. And we see like some years in the future, Raphael is, well, alone in the streets, and he runs across a little baby. And as you said, most of this story is without words. We just see the pictures. We just let the art talk to us. As we always say, you should check out these comics for yourself, because we cannot tell you how the art looks. You have to really see it for yourself. So in the story, like, Raphael finds a little baby, and he protects it from like some evil ninjas and some other stuff. And it's really crazy, and it seems like it's in the winter, so it's snowing in the city. And yeah, Raph protects the little baby, and in the end, it turns out that like this baby is like Karai's great granddaughter. And yeah, Karai is still alive. She's very old, and it's like, yeah, it was all just to like lure Raphael to her, because she missed the old days when they were like fighting each other. It's like, okay, so it was just, well, more or less a trap, but Raph's like, okay, I'm out of here. Here, had a baby, I'm done. And yeah, that's pretty much the end of that story. So yeah, once again, a possible future that we might see. Um, Pretty cool, but it's always cool to see like future Raph. I don't know. It's just cool. It's really grumpy old future Raph to see. Yeah,
Yeah.
cool.
Well, thank you for clearing that one up for us a little bit. Now, this one's a little shocker. You know, we've had Mikey crushing on people. The 2012 series, we see, Donnie crushing. Old Turtles, we had Raph and Mona Lisa, Raph, and a little bit of Lois Blossom. So again, here we get Leonardo and Ooh La La Love.
Oh yeah, with Tales of the TMNT number 41, which is called Swan Song. And yeah, it's another future story, but this one is about Leonardo. And yeah, so Leonardo in the future, he actually runs into none other than Radical, the superheroine. And they just hang out together and, well, they fall in love. So yeah, nice for Leo. But well, Radical's arch nemesis, Complete Carnage, reappears, and he has something against this, and he attacks Radical and actually kills her. He snaps her neck. So the main part of the story is like Leonardo trying to get revenge for Radical. So he is hunting down Complete Carnage and fights him one last time, cuts him up with his sword, and this is like the last time. Like Leonardo's like, okay, this was the last kill I ever did. I'm done with this, and he leaves like this world behind because we saw this elder Leonardo way back in Tales of the TMNT number 3 and 4 when we had the 4 Leonardos from different time periods working together, and he's got like this technological super sword that stuns people but does not kill people, and so that's what he gets then because he does not want to kill anymore. And well, this is pretty much the end of that story, elder Leonardo story. And well, it's a pretty sad story because finally Leonardo finds love, but it does not work out in the end. And yeah, tragic, gotta say, a tragic story.
And that's what we enjoy about these. This is just more targeted for adults. Like you were saying, a lot of us grew up with the '87 show. We're now in our 20s, 30s. We're okay that we can handle this stuff. Well, it's hard to process in the feels, like you say, but we can. It's a little bit different environment compared to just hitting a fire hydrant and throwing pizza at enemies. We're actually getting the good stuff here. So. The next one, though, is I got to ask you before we do this one, what would you do if somebody gave you 5,000 American dollars or $5,000 in your country?
Oh, good question. I guess I would be really happy with it and go comic book shopping, I think.
Just like Bebop and Rocksteady, our own comic books. There you go. Very nice. Yeah. Feel free to take it away with this one where one turtle's going to walk away with $5,000.
Yeah, it's Tales of the TMT number 42, The Curious Case of Mr. Jones, which finally now it's a little more funny story, I gotta say. Not that serious, because in this story, like, Casey gets interviewed by some mysterious fat agents because that he ran into an alien robot who suddenly appeared, and well, he's fighting the alien robot who really looks really crazy together with Rev, and they have like, this is the most part of the story, like he fights this alien robot, defeats it, and it's, well, this agents they interrogate Casey about this whole thing, like, wasn't it weird for you? And Casey pretty much like, nah, not a day for us, because stuff like this always happens to us, it appears. So well, yeah, Casey in the end is walks away, and it turns out that these agents were actually Utroms who were trying to find out if Earth was ready for aliens. And yeah, they just did this whole thing. The robot was a part of their plan, and so on and so forth. And because Casey was like not going wild about it, like, oh my god, alien robot or anything, like, okay, it seems like Earth is ready for aliens, for us to come to Earth, which, well, is a big plot point in volume 4 of the Mirage comics. So yeah, that was interesting, I gotta say.
Yeah, very interesting. And they're like, hey, and then Casey, hey, let's go spend this money. Let's go. So he was just ready to blow it right away. Not typical Casey Jones. So the next one now is, we'll talk a little bit more in depth here, is The Proposal. So before you break this one down, I thought we were going to see more of that 2003 TMNT cartoon. Remember, April gets the ring and she's all crazy and cranky, and I like both the variety. I was curious if you had to pick a favorite or if you like them both as well, but feel free to break down The Proposal.
Yeah, as the title suggests, this is the part where Casey finally asks April to marry him, and he's got this ring, and yeah, pretty much like in the 2003 episode, like the ring is very interesting, and the foot is after it. They want it, and so yeah, of course, there's a big fight. And the interesting thing is that Casey's cousin Sid is part of the Foot Clan in this story. He became a member of the Foot Clan, and he wanted to get the ring for Karai. Well, they actually do get this ring, but Casey still is able to ask April a question, and she says yes. Cool. But it turns out that the ring for Karai, the ring is worthless. So cousin Sid gets punished for his failure, even though the ring was the right ring. Kind of strange. But he gets punished, he gets experimented on, and in the end he gets turned into like this golem-like creature, really going crazy, like being possessed with this ring just in his hand. And yeah, so that was not a happy end for cousin Sid, I gotta say, but it was interesting to see him again. But well, that's the end of that story, and as I said, it's not a happy end.
No, not at all. And I'm curious to see again. You feel free not to play spoiler, but I would like to see a Casey April wedding issue. I'm hoping I get one. We got a lot of different turtles we get to go through, so fingers crossed as we break down more here on Shellonomics, we do end up getting one. Next one coming up is another female popular character. It's nice to see Karai get her own love here in issue 44.
Yeah, this story is called The Amulet, and as you said, it's a story about Karai when she was still younger. So it's like a flashback episode, a flashback comic, I would say. And it's about this adventure that Karai has with the Foot Clan, where she tries to get this mystical amulet from this cave in the mountains, and she's got like this quarter foot ninjas with her. And yeah, on that track they run into mystical creatures, ghosts, and so on and so forth, crazy stuff. Well, in the end they find the amulet, but one of the other ninjas is like obsessed with it, and Karai has to fight him, and well, she actually has to kill him. So in the end, Karai is the only one who returns from this adventure. And yeah, so it's unusual because once again it's a story without the turtles, and it's all about Karai, which I think is very interesting because we don't really know that much about Karai in this universe. So it's always cool to get some more backstory for her, how she was when she was younger, and so on and so forth. So yeah, once again, interesting story, and this is really what Tales is about. It's like telling tales from this universe, like uh, getting some more stories, getting some more background, getting some more characters in there, and it's totally cool, really good.
And they work too, like we said before. There isn't really one. Again, we're breaking down close to 20 issues in this, and there's none I can say, I'd skip this one. You know, a couple other Turtle verses, if you want to skip one, it's okay if you just want to focus on canon, but I really can't find one to miss because this one, guys, also has the thing that got me laughing the hardest. So, do you recall the little short that was in this issue as well?
What was it again?
Oh, I forget that it was. I just have in my notes. It's with Splinter, and it's think of it similar to the 2003 intro where they're trying to take out the blue flame.
Oh
So
yeah.
Splinter's got a challenge for the turtles, and Donnie doesn't get it. Mike doesn't get it. Leo doesn't get it. Raphael goes, "Hey, what are the rules again?" And Splinter's like, "Oh," and Raph's like, "Gotcha!" And he took it from him. And Splinter's like, "Man, this is gonna be tough being a sensei, dude. That was genius. I didn't see I thought Mikey would have done that, but Raphael did it, and it worked to a T. It was hilarious."
Oh yeah, that was a really funny one. Yeah.
That's one of the best ones I've seen. I'm pretty sure there's more of those to come, but that one was just so good. All these little itty bitty spots here, and the next one now we get our buddy Peter Laird working on the plot, so you know this one's gonna be an instant classic in Tale 45.
Yeah, which is called Rocks. And in the story, Rev, Mike, and Don are like camping in the woods. And of course, something weird happens, and suddenly weird fish zombie people appear. And they take Mikey with them. You know, this whole story really got a Lovecraftian energy in it. It's a style, it's mystical style, because uh, they get Mikey like in this cave under the earth, and there Mikey meets like this elder god creature that lives under earth and is like, yeah, I'm listening to the stones, and the stones tell me everything, and with every lie that is told, like stones crack, and in the end like the whole world will be destroyed. And it's really wild, and I really love this mystical stuff. And well, the other turtles are able to get Mikey out there, fight those fish zombie people. I don't even know what they are, and get out there before everything caves in. And the last scene is very cool and very interesting, gotta say, because this elder god creature said that whenever someone tells a lie, a rock cracks. And we see in the last moment the turtles just, yeah, we will always be there for each other. And in the background, we see a rock cracking. So, like, yeah, it will not always be like this. So, oh, I just love this stuff. It's very cool, very Lovecraft. This is a very Lovecraftian style story, which I'm really into it.
Yep, and they have those little, crafty little jokes too. And The Rock says, made me think of The Rock from the WWF when they always say it, and The Rock says. So I thought that was great in there. Another good one, dude. These are. It's so hard to just say my favorite because I don't want you're supposed to only have one favorite, but this one is definitely up there. I just love so many people joining the foot. There's all these different characters, and you get to actually understand why they're doing it. You get some of their backstory. So, curious on your thoughts with this one as we break down tale number 46.
Yeah, this is called Temps, and as I said before, I'm really into the stories where we see like other people getting the focus of the story, like normal people. And here we see something that we usually don't see. We see like the Foot Clan side of this whole story, and we follow a young man who becomes a member of the Foot Clan. And if I remember correctly, like the story takes place around the City at Wars part, where the Foot was fighting the turtles. And so we have like this young member of the Foot Clan who wants to, yeah, who wants to be a member of the Foot Clan, to be like for honor and so on and so forth. And he's like fighting the turtles with the other Foot members, and he gets killed, which is not unusual because, hey, yeah, some Foot members, they get killed. It happens when the turtles fight them. But we see then how his body gets brought to his family, like the other Foot ninjas, like, okay, we lost one, bring him to his family. And we see like his younger brother and his mother, and they're just, oh no, we lost our boy. Because that's something that we sometimes forget, that these Foot ninjas, they are people too. Yeah, they fight the turtles, they attack the turtles. So yeah, they're pretty much the bad guys, but they are human too. They have family, and this is like something to really think about. Like, and yeah, I mean, in the end, it seems like the cycle is just continuing because the little boy says, "Yeah, we'll get whoever did this to my brother." So it keeps on going. The cycle of hate just keeps going, and yeah, it just really makes you think. And these are the best stories.
Yeah, because you feel for the bad guys too. You know, it just they put their love and soul into all these books, and they want you to see the other side, which some places don't. It's just like, yep, all is good, all is bad. It's like, no, we want you to think a little bit more about this. Now this one, they just had a. We've got. Who is this, Mikey? Graviturtle, Blaboid, Shelectro, Gridix. Are you reading the right Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle comic books in the Shell of Justice?
Yeah, Tales of the TMT number 47, The Secret Origin of the Super Turtles. And yeah, and it's pretty much just that. Yeah, if you remember the Super Turtles, they had an appearance in the 2003 cartoon with like these turtles from a different universe with the superpowers. And we see how they came to be, how they were created by Dr. Shredarius. And we also see like Splinter in this world is Sliver. And yeah, the turtles, they are the super turtles with their powers. They are fighting for the good. But it turns out that Dr. Shredarius and Sliver are the bad guys. So they have a big fight. And in the end, Shredarius is able to escape, but we will fight another day. And it's just such a funny, really, this is the most comic booky the Turtles have ever been. And it's fun to have some of these stories like where you know that the guys who did this, they just had a blast with the story. Like, okay, let's do our really comic book superhero story with turtles. And yeah, it's just that. It's just fun. It's cool.
Just like everything else, we had Jonas Case, and you need a comment, you need a laugh every now and then. And like we said, with any pretty much just like the 2003 series with Peter Laird, the 2012 Nick show, I had another guest on who said the same thing. Just these guys just had a good time doing this, and they did. And what's great is the readers like us loved it too. So that was always makes it a little more plausible. This other one's kind of a little funky, but I thought it was pretty cool with the Decider in issue 48 over here.
Yeah. Yeah, that's actually the title, Decider. And yeah, in this story, there are reports of like turtle-like people robbing banks and doing evil stuff. And the turtle's like, we didn't do anything. But actually they did. As it turns out, there's like this mind control guy in the city who is able to, who was able to control the turtles to get them under his control to do evil stuff for him. But the turtles later, they don't remember it. So yeah, Splinter is able to find out about this, and he's training the turtles. He's starting training like their minds to fight it. And yeah, well, in the end, they are able to do it. They stop the Decider. He gets arrested, and well, he turns crazy because he's talking about like giant turtles did this, and everybody's like, yeah, of course. And he gets sent to an asylum. So he gets defeated like that. So yeah, this is really one of these stories. Like it's just a one-off story, a cool one, a funny one, but it's really just a one-off story. There's a bad guy, and he gets defeated in the end, and that's it. So yeah, but I really think that the Decider really he was really interested with his powers. This, like this mind control powers. I always think these are cool. Like when he can use people to his bidding. Really, really interesting, really cool power. I gotta say, really it's creepy power actually.
Yeah, it was a little weird. Thankfully, I've never been hypnotized, and I don't plan on ever getting hypnotized by somebody. But this guy did a pretty good job. I mean, even Splinter was trying to get him to work, and they couldn't. So it was a very interesting story there. Number 49. See, this is what again we've talked about this before. Just enjoy the ride. Whoever's listening to this show, if you can, find a way to read these comics on your own and just take it in like a good wholesome meal, because there's just so little tidbits that they plan here. Just again, they reward the reader for just enjoying this. You're gonna see Stockman gets mentioned in this one in Mind Games. A couple other dudes we haven't seen for a while in these tales are back, and feel free to take it away with tale 49.
Yeah, this story, Mind Games, is pretty much a callback to Mirage Volume number 2. Well, if you've read that story, in the end, like there was a big explosion, and suddenly Leonardo woke up, and he's like, "Whoa, was it all just a dream?" And here we find out that it really happened, but only Leonardo remembers all the crazy stuff that happened. And Bronze reappears. Bronze is a character who has this mind control powers. He can like read minds. He can change memories and stuff like that. And well, he runs into the turtles again. And because he's got a problem, there are some other super powered people who are after him. And well, the turtles and him, they work together to stop them. So well, it turns out that everything that happened in Volume 2 actually really happened, except for explosion. Nobody got, the turtles did not get killed in the end. So we get like some, how should I put it? Like, when did Volume 2 come out? Must be around 94. So this issue came out in 2008. So it must be like 14 years later, we finally get some answers to all the questions we had at the end of Volume 2. So pretty interesting to finally get some closure on that story. It took some time, but I'm really happy that they did this here.
Oh yeah, exactly. Especially for diehard fans like yourself, you get a lot of it. Just the reason you appreciate these too is you get some closure sometimes. Even though these are just one-off tales, you get guys that we haven't seen for a while. You get a little more exposure. It's gosh, this episode just flew by, Christian. We have one more left to talk about here, and it's our good friend Leatherhead.
Tales of the TMNT number 50, called World's Deadliest. And the story starts with Leatherhead getting kidnapped by, well, some mysterious guys, and the turtles are out there to save him. And it turns out that he was brought to an island where other mystical, mysterious creatures are sent to be hunted, because our good old buddy Marlin is back. If you remember Marlin from the Leatherhead origin story, which was Tales number 6, I think, way back. He actually survived the fall at the end of that story, and he's back with some hunter buddies, and they're on this island. Really crazy, like all these mystical creatures. I think there was a Jersey devil was in there, and some other mystical creatures, and as I said, Leatherhead too. So, well, in the end, Leatherhead gets his final showdown with Marlin, and he does not kill him personally, but he throws him into water where these mystical flesh-eating creatures come at him and, well, apparently kill Marlin, and then the turtles and Leatherhead go back to New York. And yeah, it's cool. You gotta say this is like very interesting story where all these mystical creatures, all these weird, strange cryptozoid creatures, they get captured, brought to this island to be hunted by others, which is an interesting story by itself. But we also got the turtles in it, so yeah, it's really cool. Once again, the art is really cool, really gritty. I totally enjoyed this comeback of Leatherhead, comeback of Marlin. So yeah, nothing to complain here, I gotta say.
And what I like too is just the little greetings from Dan and everybody else. Before you read these books, there's always like a little note. Hey guys, this is the next issue. Hey, Valentine's Day's around here. This may not get out by V-Day, but if not, this is what this story's about. Thanks again. Cheers, Dan. It's just a little more appreciation of the gratitude they express to their fans. It's just always nice to hear from them. So we've got up to, I believe, 71 total. Now, Christian, for those who are listening again for the first time, you told us before, there are some mini-series for each Ninja Turtle. We get a little more in-depth with Leonardo's drugging spaced out type thing. We've got others. So what would you say to somebody who has never read these before? How would they go about throwing these turtle books in the mix as well, the miniseries?
Well, some of the story, as it is with the tales of the TMNT stories, the stories they take place at different times in the Turtles chronological order. So it's like with the Donatello miniseries is, I guess, best to read after volume 2. With the Leonardo micro miniseries, it's best to read after issue 5 of Tales, because it like follows that story. If you remember when Leonardo was blinded and had to fight this ninja. Michelangelo's story takes place around volume 4. So yeah, I mean, I found some websites. One website, I don't know if someone of you remember the website TMNT Entity, which had all these comic book reviews and so on of the Turtles. And that guy, he also did a chronological order of TMNT comics. What does take place when? And I can really recommend that reading order, because you're really in chronological order then. Just with the Tales comics, it's like, okay, this takes place in the future, this takes place in the past, this takes place in between, this is at City at War, this is after volume 2. So it's really wild sometimes. But yeah, I can really recommend the website tmntentity.blogspot.com, because there is a Mirage Comics reading order list in there, which I can really recommend. So if you're just unsure where does this take place, you can really check out this. And then okay, so I gotta read this first to get the whole story. I mean, just with the Tales comics, you can read them for themselves and you're fine and you get enjoyment out of it. But to get the whole story, to get everything, it's really cool to like read this first and then understand. So why are we here right now? So I hope you get my drift there.
Yeah, no, exactly. We appreciate that. And Christian, people can check out your podcast as well. Which tales have you broken down? Because you break down pretty much anything Turtles, toys, games, new stuff, old stuff, interviews. Which tales have you covered so far on your show for our English viewers?
For the English episodes, oh dude, I have actually not talked about this
Oh,
at all
okay.
in English. Yeah, that's something that I should do sooner or later.
It's almost an
But you know
exclusive.
how it
Okay.
is. Yeah, you know how it is with the current TMT comics. There's just so much coming out that
Yeah.
I really try to catch up with the current stuff. So there's no time for the old stuff. But yeah, I talked about in the German episodes. I talked about the first volume of Tales. I also have not touched the volume 2 that we are right now talking about in the German. So yeah, this is first for TMNT to talk too. So
All right.
yeah,
Very cool.
exclusive here on
Yes.
Shallonomics.
Very, very cool. Yes, like you say, there's just so many comics to take us through, and us Turtle fans appreciate you break these down for us. 30 minutes each episodic episode for you, sometimes an hour, just breaking down everything little by detail, sharing all the Easter eggs. So if guys want to know more about the new comics and older comics, where can they find you?
Yeah, you might check out TMNT The Talk, which is my podcast, which you can pretty much find everywhere, like Spotify, Apple Podcast, and so on and so forth. Or just go to the website tmnttalk.com. You can find all the stuff there, also the social media stuff, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. I'm pretty much everywhere. Check it out, come on over, and yeah, enjoy my turtle stuff.
Yeah, absolutely, my friend. All right, well, it looks like we'll have a lot more stories to tell next week, my friend. I always appreciate you stopping by our channel here.
Yeah, looking forward to finishing Tales of the TMNT next time.